If you were a former academic overachiever like yours truly, then you've probably been loving everyone who's been doing monthly curriculums on TikTok. For those who are not familiar, it's basically people are choosing different subjects to study in their spare time, like school. And I don't necessarily have a formal monthly curriculum, but I just wanted to share something that I do because I have a lot of goals and I'm a really high achiever. I have a lot of different interests, and that can sometimes be hard to balance, especially with life and work and whatever. So I just wanted to share my system in case it helps anybody on how I kind of touch upon all these different aspects, interests, or areas of my life without feeling overwhelmed. I used to be the type of person who at New Year's would make 50 different resolutions and try to do them all in one day. It would last for like 1 week, and then I would completely abandon the routine. Every time I've tried to make a new routine, morning, night, whatever, it would never work after 3 days. Either do it perfectly or like don't do it at all. There was no in between. So then I decided that instead of trying to conquer like 50 different goals in one day, what if I spread it out over a weekly basis? And in each month, if there's 4 weeks, each week can be dedicated to a goal. And this is a system that I've actually been sticking to because there's no pressure to, by the end of the day, hit all of my goals in these different areas. Now it's kind of, we focus on one area or subject, and throughout the week, I can take my time to work on it. And I find it's more realistic because if life happens or if I don't feel like on a certain day working on this, I don't feel guilty because I know that I have the whole week to work towards that goal. So treating this like a university or college curriculum, first of all, I have non-negotiables that I do every day now, and this is what I like to call the commute. I envision it as a commute to my classes. So every day I like to somehow, by the end of the day, have walked 10,000 steps. However I do it, whatever, it could be spread out through the day, but usually how I like to do it is in the morning. So I like to envision that as my commute. Like if I was taking the train or the bus to school or driving to school, whatever, that is my commute. And then as well, I like to do inner work at night. So I like to look through a vision board binder that I have, or manifest, or journal, or do different gratitude exercises, stuff like that. Next, I have my core classes. So this is something new that I've done where I used to have Monday to Friday to work on certain things, but now as I'm putting more on my plate, literally, I feel like I can't necessarily put these goals on the back burner and take a whole week to focus on something else. So I have my core classes from Monday to Wednesday. On Mondays, I work on my content creation because I'm not just gonna work on content creation for 1 week of the month and then not touch it for the rest of the month. That's unrealistic. You have to post something at least once a week. So Mondays are now for content creation. Tuesday is for a secret project that I've been working on. This is something that I can't avoid and I need to continue working on it. And then finally, Wednesdays are going to be for Studio 54, which is my social media agency that I am restarting because this job market is unfathomable. And then from Thursday to Sunday, I have my weekly electives because they're not necessarily core classes that I need to work on every day or at least once a week. It's something that I can take my time with, and at least I have that Thursday to Sunday period to focus on that. Okay, so if we're talking like September, the first week, Monday to Wednesday, today, September 3rd, I worked on all those things. And then my electives are now from September 4th to the 7th. So on the first week of the month, I like to work on my secret project, especially with the Mondays to Wednesday core classes. Week 2 is for content creation. So that involves scripting, researching, editing, filming, scheduling, repurposing content to other platforms, reaching out to brands for collaborations, reaching out to other people, finding inspiration, and things like that. Week 3, I'm now gonna be allotting it to my social media agency, Studio 54. And that can include right now is me focusing on the branding, figuring out what do I wanna do with this, what services do I wanna offer, thinking about the content that I'm gonna post on there, who do I wanna work with, reaching out to clients, and later on that will be fulfilling the services for those clients, updating things, doing CRM, and so on and so forth. And then as well, I also put under this week just researching different things about my career that I'm interested in, different opportunities that I can partake in, as well as just career in general of different job postings that I find or freelancing gigs that I might want or networking and whatever. Finally, the last week of the month is pretty stacked, but that's because I feel like I multitask during most of these, and also there are minimal tasks that I can get done faster. But overall, it really is the main theme of the week is inner work because I used to be the type of person who would just do work and do content and whatever and completely disregard myself and my mental health and my physical health and whatever. From taking a hiatus from January to July, I've learned a lot, and I know that I need to start being more intentional and taking time, carving out time, even if I don't want to take care of myself, well as doing things that are enjoyable and are not always career or work related, such as socializing, self-care, reading books, watching movies, listening to music, deep cleaning my house, just monthly planning, like who do I want to see this month? What do I want to do? What needs to be done? I'm getting my wisdom teeth out Friday. I planned that a long time ago during that themed week. And I'd just like to wrap up this video with just some tips for your learning or your monthly curriculum. Again, be realistic about what you can do. Like I said, I always thought I was going to be a daily routine person and have the perfect morning or night routine, and that never worked. And this weekly goal is so much more sustainable. I'm so glad I implemented this system since about June. And again, it just takes the pressure off of getting everything done in the day and not feeling defeated just because I didn't check off everything on my to-do list. Make it interactive. A lot of people who are doing a monthly curriculum, I'm seeing a lot of people with stacks of books and different things they want to study, and that's great if that works for you. But again, back to the realistic thing, I know for me, I'm a visual learner, so I need both words and visuals. I need sensory things that I can touch and feel. I need to physically move and go places to feel like I'm accomplishing something. I like to make it interactive that way. I also make it fun, romanticize it, get a nice drink, a nice playlist, a nice fall candle, just make it fun, do you. Pay attention to how you learn. And I knew I was a visual learner, but again, I just figured out this weekly theme versus the daily routine or daily curriculum. So pay attention to where you thrive, where you're struggling. Time yourself on certain tasks or subjects. Are you taking too long on something, or are you finding you're avoiding this topic and you're pushing it off, and maybe you're studying it or learning about it just because you saw someone on TikTok do it, and you don't have to do it. Do what you want. Pay attention to certain patterns like that to adjust your curriculum to make it work for you. Like I just added that core class thing from Monday to Wednesday. I haven't tried it yet. It might not work. I might not stick to it, and that's okay. Set your limits when it comes to researching, or boundaries when it comes to learning about different things. There's so many topics out there you can learn about. It can feel overwhelming almost, and I'm the type of person where I over-research things. So if I don't put certain limitations, then I will continue to research and not take action, and that's kind of opposite of what we want to do if that's your goal. If it's something for leisure and you just want to learn everything there is to know about it, knock yourself out. But I know for me personally, a lot of my goals are action oriented, and they do require some research initially at the beginning. But if I don't put certain limitations, then I will take forever, because there's so many different niche areas and expertise and people to learn from. There's so many YouTube channels, Pinterest boards, articles online. The internet is vast. Books are vast. So try to put certain limits. For example, go to your local library, see what books they have on the topics you like, and say that's it. Until you've gone through all those, you're not allowed to move on to the internet or another book or something else. I hope this helped. And again, I just wanted to share it because why not? I want to contribute to this movement online, and it's really inspiring to me because I thought, wow, I never considered my weekly routine like a monthly curriculum, but it is. And I'm really happy that I started doing this. It's made me feel so much fulfilled in life because again, I'm touching every area that I've ever wanted. And before, I used to just focus on one thing and not know how to deal with the other things and juggle everything. I've literally printed it out and put it in a protective sheet to keep with me at all times. So if I ever feel like, what am I doing with my life? I can read this again. Or feel like, what am I doing today again? I can look at this and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing today. And it gives me just direction and ease of mind. Hope this helps. You got this. Happy learning.